You got it.
This content is being recorded. Okay.
There we go. We're live. All right, guys, welcome back. We are here with another update for you guys on Fishgistics. We have some more Dakar American racers. Who's all over there? Introduce your guys. I was gonna say guys, but Sarah's there too. So introduce yourselves.
I'm Sarah Price.
Andrew Short, Sean Berriman,
Hunter Miller.
There we go. All right. And what are you guys racing over there? Tell everybody, what kind of car are you guys racing? What class are you in? What are you guys racing?
So me and Sean are in Maverick R under South Racing. We are the Can-Am Factory program, the Americans, and we're 405 number in the SSV category.
Yep, and we're in the exact same car, Can-Am Maverick car, but we are number 420.
All right.
And I didn't pick it.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting number you got there. Well, are you guys having fun so far? I know that the race started off a little bit tough for you there, Sarah, at the beginning, but then you guys kind of got it figured out, and that's Dakar. You know, like we were talking to some of the guys earlier, you never know what's going to happen at Dakar. This race is not over until the very last stage is over, and it's tough to get a rough start out of the gate. But how are you guys feeling now, Sarah? Obviously, you guys got a stage win in the fourth stage there, so the car must be working pretty good now.
Yeah, definitely. We had a very heartbreaking start to Dakar, and it was the mechanical issues that took us out that were out of our control. So, unfortunately, we're just doing the best we can to now have fun and go for stage wins. And we're so grateful we made that happen on stage 4. It was we tried really hard to have good pace, and we were excited when we got the news of that. But as you guys know, it's been a tough road for us this one. So. That's the least we can do right now is just kind of have good pace and go for it.
Yeah, I don't know what would be what's worse, either having the bad luck right at the beginning and getting and then like you're done, or you have bad luck at the end. You know, I don't know what would be worse, thinking like you're winning the whole way and then you have bad luck the last 2 stages or something. But either way, that's part of racing, and glad to see you guys are still in good spirits. Hunter, you kind of had a little bit of an issue at the beginning too one day. What happened to you?
Yeah, we I think this whole couch might be cursed, Dak. Yeah, Andrew and I, we started the first stage pretty good, and we're cruising along, and all of a sudden the car like went into neutral and got out, and it was pouring smoke out and everything. There was oil everywhere, and I'd got a rock between the skid and the transmission, and it knocked a hole in the skid or in the transmission. So we had to sit there for an hour or so for the T5 truck to get there, and then got towed for the next 6 hours, about 10 feet behind that thing in the dust, which was hands down the scariest experience of my entire life. I mean, it would go from complete whiteout to complete blackout, but whiteout was okay because that meant you were still behind the truck. But when it was black, that meant you weren't, and all of a sudden you were smashing trees. But we got back in time. Yeah, it was terrifying, but we got back in time before the cutoff, so we stayed in the race. And we've had, every day just a small issue that's kind of plagued us. It seems like, it's all just little things, but that's all it takes out here to knock you back a couple hours. But still having a blast. This is my first experience with this, and man, it's absolutely probably been my favorite racing experience that I've ever had. And we get a chance to do it all again next week. So hopefully I'm past all that stuff. Fortunately, we're still in the race. So try to turn it around.
Yeah, definitely. And the co-drivers that are there, this is something a little bit different than what a lot of the people are used to over here in America when we have GPS over here. And we've been talking to some of the other guys about this. How's that road book? For people that don't know, you don't get the pre-run, obviously. They give you a road book, and this year it's a digital road book. We've talked to some of the other guys, and they're having issues with the road book, having problems. Are you guys having issues with your road books, or have they been okay so far?
We all look at Shorty.
Reader. He gets mad at me for cutting corners because I screw his road book all up.
Yeah, no, I'm only here, like, I'm not big into car life, so I love navigation. That's the best part of this race for me. But knock on wood, we haven't had any issues. I know even for some of the bike guys, they've been glitching and they've been getting some speed penalties possibly. And even some of the top cars, it seems like their tablets have turned off. I think Brock had an issue, I heard, and I don't know exactly what's happening, but it seems like for the most part, they're pretty bulletproof. the navigation's been really tricky for me. Coming from bikes, I don't navigate at night, and with the car we've been in night a few times. So I missed my first waypoint, which was a first for me. I did it 5 times on a bike. This is my second time in the car. So I've done a lot of rally, not just Dakar, but the series year after year. So it is difficult, and the navigation at Dakar is always tough. But it seems like this year, between the terrain and managing the cars and all that stuff, it's extra challenging and it's pretty addicting. So I love that side. I'm not great at working on the car or the rest of the car stuff, but the navigation part I really enjoy. So it's been good this year so far.
Yeah, awesome. What about you, Sean? What do you think?
Is he frozen?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
You freeze?
Oregon?
Y'all just
Are we back?
Yeah, you're back.
It's this,
All
we
right.
don't move.
Yeah, I know the internet's really weird. It sucks you guys can't have Starlink over there because we'd be totally good if you could have Starlink.
I know, we brought it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work though.
All right. Well, I was asking Sean. I would say, how's the navigation going for you so far? You've done a few of these rallies before, right? So not new for you, but how's it going?
It's been good. There's definitely been some tricky sections and stages and stuff. But for the most part, fortunately, we haven't had any problems or anything with our electronic road books. The last time I had raced this, it was still paper, so it was kind of getting used to the whole electronic thing. But I actually enjoy it. I feel like everybody you talk to, once you go over to the electronic side, they seem to like it. And yeah, I mean we've been hitting all of our marks, and we've been good on that end. It's just the string of bad luck that's just following us that's been taking us out, unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks, especially when it's stuff that's out of your control. That's that you're not getting lost or stuff like that so far. So it's not anything you guys can do about it. But Sarah, this is I believe this is your second or third one now. Your second one, right?
Second, yeah.
Yeah. How much different is it from the first? Does it feel a lot more comfortable? Are you a little bit more used to everything now, or how much easier or harder is it, like mentally and everything, from the first time?
I would say it's pretty like close in comparison. The one great thing about it is that I kind of had like an idea now of like coming into this what to expect a little bit. But like I think that's where you can really get yourself into a pickle, is if you kind of like come into this without having like humbleness and respect for it, because obviously last year we came into it super humble. We just wanted to finish and we ended up doing better than expected, and that's exactly how we tackled it this year too. But now obviously being out of the overall ranking, like it's just nice to kind of like be at pace and push, and then we have a good pace, so it's been really nice to kind of like battle with the top guys when we get up there out of the dust.
Yeah, speaking of pace, Hunter, this is your first one over there. You do have no idea what the pace is coming in, right? What do you think of the pace so far? How's the pace been?
Yeah, that's honestly been the hardest part for me. I'm used to going as hard as I can for the whole time, and everybody talks about how long and how hard this race is, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, 14 days, that is a long time, and 8,000 kilometers. You can't really grasp what that is until you're here doing it. I said to Andrew when we were driving, it's like, if somebody says they're going to give you $1 billion. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, we all know what $1 billion is, but none of us normal people can actually comprehend that. You can't comprehend what this race is until you're here experiencing it. Like, it is so much gnarlier than I gave it credit to before I got here. And it was definitely a dose of reality the first couple of days when I'm in the car for 12 hours, and then I get to sleep in a tent and I get back in the car for another 12 hours. It's gnarly. It really is. But trying to figure out how to back it down and where to push and when to push, and just kind of what that fine line is, because Andrew keeps getting onto me like we're going too fast and then I'm going too slow, and like finding that middle ground of where we really need to be for the entire time has been proven difficult, but the only way to figure it out is to do it. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get to that point.
Yeah, I think it's big that you have a guy like Andrew there with the experience that's done it before, who can tell you that, like, hey, you're going a little too hard today, or hey, we need to pick it up, because he knows, right? He's done it before. It would be really hard if you had just a rookie driver and a rookie navigator. That would be almost impossible to to catch on, it seems like, over there. You guys haven't even got to the big dunes yet. How are you guys feeling about the dunes?
I think we're honestly like I like the dunes. It's got its own challenge, but it can also be daunting as well. It's one of those ones where you're either going to have a really good day or it's really going to be bad. But I'm looking forward to it for the most part. I think it's one of those terrains that's totally different than any style of racing we experience in the States or even here. I mean, you get a lot of dunes, but it's just a different type of racing.
Yeah, and I'm terrified.
I'm
Yeah,
excited for the dunes.
the dunes over there are probably a lot harder to read than the dunes like in Glamis, right? Like when you're in Glamis, you kind of get a flow going and you can kind of tell like, oh, we can connect this to this. But I mean, Sarah, you've done it. How different is it over there? It's not like you can just connect everything together, right?
No, it is different, but it is kind of similar to Glamis, to be honest. And, like as a little girl, like that's where I grew up going is Glamis and the river. And so I would say it is most equivalent to Glamis, but here you have a lot of broken dunes, they call it. So you can kind of see which way the wind's going and which side they break. But the problem is that like you go to the bottom and they'll be broken down and you just nose down and then you have to go straight back up again. And so it gives you almost like you have to brake hard to make sure you don't go off of it and break your car, but then you also need to have enough momentum to get back up and get back on it. And so that's the tough part. And it sucks. You kind of like get impatient a little bit because each dune you're like having to brake for it and you're like, dang it, I could have rolled that one a little faster. I could have rolled that one a little faster. And then the one you just choose not to roll that slow, it gets you. So you have to be patient in the dunes here. And then you guys probably see like those crazy pictures of like, I say it's like a mile long, but it's not. It's like straight down into like this river bottom. And it's like really hard packed ground at the bottom of the dune. So you're like coming down, and all you're trying to do is go as slow as possible so you don't weed your car when you get to the hard ground. And it's the wildest thing to me. Like I keep telling Hunter about it. I was like, I can't wait till you see this. Like it's just crazy. Like I've never seen something like it in your life. And you're just in dunes, and all of a sudden you're just going straight down like a roller coaster into like forever weird land where it's just hard packed as hell. Crazy, but yeah, that's gonna be something that's really cool to be on again and just experience. But the checkpoints get tricky in those areas.
Yeah. Is there many spectators over there at all? Like in all the pictures we see, we don't really see any spectators or anybody around. Like we're used to Baja where there's people just all over the place. Are you guys running into people anywhere? Is there people out there cheering you on anywhere? Or how's that work over there?
We're trying not to run into them.
We had a lot yesterday.
I had a Toyota, like old beat up Toyota pass me the other day.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of locals before the finish, and they go out there and camp, and you could tell they're off-road enthusiasts as well, you know. So, but it's definitely not like South America in the past or Baja, like what you said. It's a different race here in South America, and in terms of like the public or fans, maybe on a local level, there's not as much interest, but worldwide, you know, this race is massive. It gets a lot of coverage, and there's a lot of people here. So it's hard because in the US we get so stuck and narrow minded of like our bread and butter of what we care and have a huge passion for, which for you guys is Baja and everything. But even over here, like Hunter mentioned, he's like, man, I didn't realize the depth of drivers, you know, from Europe and all these places. And they've done this race year after year and how competitive they are. And they live for this stuff, you know, every day they wake up trying to be better and they think about Dakar, you know, and we're back home. You guys are so focused on Vegas Arena or Baja and these races. These races are your life. And then it's like you get outside that bubble and you see what everything else is. And it's not Baja where, you know, the road is just lined with fans and people and that style of passion, but there's definitely a lot of passion around the world and people following this from all over the world and country.
Yeah. Speaking of the other
I think
drivers,
it's funny.
oh, go ahead, Sarah. Yeah.
It's funny because like we don't have road books in America, right? So we're the oddballs. We're kind of the outcasts coming here, where everyone else who's coming here to race Dakar, that's all they have. Like when they go racing, they only race with road books. So like we are having to learn this new skill that's kind of foreign to us because we don't have it and they're so used to it. So it's almost a disadvantage like coming from where we are, but I think it's a advantage when we're used to like higher speeds almost and pushing a little bit. And then we're also used to, you know, like here they care so much about weight on the vehicle, where we don't care as much about weight in America. We just care to make it last. And so it's just
Yeah.
different, you know, it's different places you come.
And one thing you notice as well is like when you see spectators or you see locals, you know you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like very
That's for sure. When you're lost, look
Yeah.
for locals.
you know you're heading somewhere in the right way. So that's the kind of telltale sign of photographers and some locals because they're obviously watching the guys ahead of you. So that's what we kind of look for.
We even used
Yeah.
a helicopter yesterday.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Speaking of the other drivers that are over there, how are the other drivers over there? Are they friendly for the most part? Are they kind of standoffish? Like what's the camaraderie like between, obviously you guys are on the same team under South Racing, but outside of your team, do you guys talk to each other? Is everybody friendly or is it kind of hit or miss or what's that like down there?
Yeah, I would say this is a whole different world over here. Back in the US when we're racing each other, I mean, I think the competitiveness kind of gets the better of ours. It gets the better of us every once in a while. And over here, it's not necessarily like you're racing head to head with everybody all day. It's like you're racing the clock and yourself. And then at the end of the day, we all kind of compare our times and people are stoked for each other when they win. It seems like it's a different atmosphere and it's kind of a breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody, of course, wants to beat the other one, but everybody's happy for the next guy when they do well and have a good day. At the end of the day, it's always like, oh, how was your day? How was your day? It's not like, oh, I kicked your ass today and see you later. But it's pretty cool. And I mean, everybody from other teams seems to be very happy to talk to you and help you and all these things, especially for the people like me that don't have a lot of experience over here.
You need friends here.
Yeah, you really
never
do.
know. You never know when you're gonna need help. If you help somebody, because it's so long, and I mean this race is 2 weeks long, so having that friendship with other teams, and it's like typical reality TV show. You need to make your friends and make them count, and know when to help people, because one day it's not if, it's when you're gonna need help, and it will bite you. So as long as you're good with everybody else and you're a nice, kind racer and all that, it helps you out in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good to hear. A little bit different than over here, like you said. Sometimes people get a little too amped up, maybe, and well, and there's no nerfing allowed over there either, right? So you can't really be mad at somebody hitting you like maybe over here.
They get
Is there
really
nerfing?
mad if you come close to them.
Yeah.
I would say like the safety systems and stuff they have over here are on another level compared to what we're like racing these big 20,000-pound trucks and side by side against them and side by sides is not really a problem because you can't miss the alarms that are going off inside that thing whenever you get within 100 meters of them. Like if one is coming, you definitely know it. There's no ignoring it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's really good. I mean, even the tracking system over there, it works really good. It works almost all the time. Like the times are live. We can see you guys live times almost the whole way. You hit all those checkpoints they have. So it's definitely fun. It makes it cool for us watching back here too. Even though it's like the middle of the night when you guys are racing, the time difference kind of sucks. So,
I think they should implement it more in like America. If they could copy what Dakar does in America, it would be a game changer. Because like even when me and Sean were staying out in the dunes on the second stage, they were talking to us, like calling us, "Hey, you need assistance? Do you need water? Do you need anything?"
You need a helicopter?
Yeah.
You want some coffee? Whatever you want. I mean, there's literally like a little satellite. I forget what the thing's called, but
U-Link.
U-Link, yeah. And so the second your car stops, if you don't hit the green button, and most of the time, even when you hit the green button, just saying you have a mechanical, I mean, they're calling to check on you. And I mean, it is like a live radio between you and them, and they're monitoring it the entire time. The safety over here it really is on another level for sure.
well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I think I would just assume that the price point of that system is probably much higher than the price point of any of the systems that are being used over here. Would be my number one guess, right?
I would assume that as well.
Yeah, that's very much so.
I would assume that as well.
Yeah.
Just
Well, what?
being like was stuck for literally days on end. I mean, there's stories of guys that they sleep 2-3 days out in the middle. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like there is no town or city close by. So you have to have safety. I mean, they got it pretty dialed in.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this place. Like Sean said, you're in the middle of nowhere. It's like you're on another planet. I mean, yesterday at the start of stage 3, I guess, the start of the marathon stage, we were literally like racing through a volcano. Was it 5?
Yeah. We're getting all
Our
the
stage-
stuff here.
Yeah, they all run together. But anyway, one of the stages was super sweet. And I mean, it was solid lava rock as far as you could see for like the first 60K. And I mean, we were literally racing through a volcano. I mean, you're not going to see that anywhere else in the world. It's like being inside a video game.
No,
Yeah.
that is pretty cool. Yeah, I know one of the things that's also different is like some of the food over there. We talked to some of the other people. Did any of you guys do anything special for your food? Did you guys bring any special meal with you, or are you guys eating what they have there? Or how's the food going over there?
I brought a whole suitcase full of snacks because all I heard was I needed to bring all this stuff. And South Racing has their food situation so on point that I haven't even touched it.
Yeah, I brought a whole suitcase too, but I have like candy and stuff that's not very good for you that I carry in the car. It just boosts the morale a little bit, but South Racing has insane catering, so we've been eating really good here. I
Yeah.
think we're actually gaining weight.
I would
Yeah.
say so. I would say so. I just had about 8 brownies.
Well, that's awesome. Well, good to hear. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you guys up too late. I know it's kind of late over there, and you guys have a big day tomorrow. I heard you got a big, I think there's a big liaison tomorrow too, huh? How's that, real quick?
Yeah.
How's the driving on the street over there, Hunter? Maybe because you haven't done that before. What do you think? How's the liaison working out for you?
The first the first night when we had a windshield, it wasn't that bad, but then we decided to take it off because we were sick of trying to see through it through the dust, and it's a whole different animal. But it is weird, like, you know, you're racing all day and you're used to just when you get done to the finish line, you're done. But then we had to, you know, I think the longest one we had was what, like 350K.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're on the highway for another 3 or 4 hours, and that's actually kind of brutal, but you know, it gives you time to sit there and collect your thoughts and try not to freeze to death and you know, learn a little bit about yourself, I guess. But no, it's not bad. It's a nice little wind down, you know, from the day, and you know, figure out what you can do better the next day.
Perfect, perfect. All right. Well, yeah. Sarah, what do you think? Are you just full speed at this point, just going for stage wins, just try to see what you can do?
100%. That's all we can do. So we're just gonna, push as much as we can. Unfortunately, we had an issue yesterday's stage, and so now we're back in the pack, which sucks because you really can't have the best times when you're chasing dust. So we just have to work to get back up with the faster paced people and hopefully have a good stage tomorrow to do that.
How does it work when you can request to be moved up? Do you have to be like a veteran or something like that, or does that not work in your guys' class?
No, so that's actually like a really new thing. We just learned about it. So if you're a part of the W2RC, which is the championship that Dakar is a part of, and since like I was a part of it last year and this year because I just wanted to be just in case I got that one sponsor that would pay for me to continue the whole year. You get ranked, and because I did so well last year, I was ranked as a silver driver, so I got to pull that card. But unfortunately, I pulled that card on a day. So the day after we were out and our car failed, we pulled it and we got to start a little sooner. But then they put a 20-hour penalty on me because they never checked my car if we changed the engine until like 1 a.m. And so my penalty got put on the next day. So it was really kind of crappy, to be honest. And it shouldn't be that way in my perspective, but it was. And so, yeah, we pulled that card just to start up a little bit sooner. And then I got a 20-hour penalty. But they did at least salvage my start position. So I got to start in an okay position the next day again. But now that's gone. So I don't have a choice now.
Is that a one-time card and
One
that's
time
it?
it's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is what it is, right? Yeah. Well, what about you, Hunter? What's your strategy the rest of the way? Are you kind of doing the same thing? I mean, if we look, you're sitting let's see, where are you at? You're in eighth position. You are a ways back on time, but you're in eighth position. So are you kind of doing the same thing, or what's your strategy?
Yeah, eighth is kind of a shocker to me, honestly. I figured I'd be further back than that after the kind of the days we've had. But you know, no, it's not necessarily the same. I mean, of course, I want to try to get some stage wins too. I know we can do it, but the most important thing for me is racing every kilometer of this race and learning what it does take to win. You know, I think the win may be out of reach for me this year, obviously, but I want to win it next year. So I need to spend as much time as I can, like working on the navigation and working for Andrew and I to kind of figure out what the pace is and what we need to do to win this thing. So, pushing really hard and taking chances and potentially spending the rest of the time sitting on the side of the course out in the desert doesn't get me there. So, within reason, I'm going to push to try to win for sure, a couple stages or a stage, but I'm not going to do anything stupid in order to do it. I want to learn as much as I can while I'm here so that I can be ready for next year.
Yeah, that sounds like a good strategy, honestly. There's not much else you can do at this point, probably, and that's being smart. And like you said, you're planning on coming back, so you might as well get some seat time and go have fun. Well, thanks
Yeah,
you guys for
exactly.
coming on, and everyone back here in America has been watching. It's hard for us to watch much because there's not much coverage. We have to try to like find it on some TV channel in the middle of the night, but I'm glad you guys were able to come on today and this worked out. It's always cool hearing from you guys over there, especially live.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, good luck. Go get some sleep and kick ass the rest of the way.
Will do.
Appreciate it.
Thanks